Hello, and welcome back to Life is a Piano. Today I have with me Vaughan Henry and his band, the Smoogies. So I saw them last night at Cliff Bell's in Detroit. They're currently on a grant-funded tour promoting their new album, People Music. And I thought it'd be fun to chat with them just about tour and, their band dynamic. And so it was great to have everyone up and available, and I appreciate their time. I also asked some questions that some of you out there sent me either, in person or in a DM. So hopefully all of your questions get answered. And it's great to be back doing this podcast as well. Quick aside, if you are the type of person who needs more interviews with musicians that I conduct, Mid Backstage is my other podcast that I program much more regularly just based on scheduling and the premise of the podcast. Life is a Piano is going to be sort of a supplementary podcast going forward until I have enough time and resources to, develop it more and have more of a schedule of my interview. All that said and all that set aside, if you liked today's conversation, you can support by going to patreon.com/Snedeker. There you can get access to early episodes of the podcast, exclusive merch, and more. You can also go to DutcherSnedeker.com to see everything that I'm up to around the internet. Keep an eye out for the summer touring schedule with Earth Radio, Normal Mode, Mark Lavengood. I'm going to be playing a lot of shows this summer, and I'm really grateful to be back out in the festival circuit, so keep an eye out. You can go to my website to find out all those details. Also, if you are in the Grand Rapids area, every Friday and Saturday, unless I specify otherwise, from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Old Goat in Alger Heights, I will be streaming on Instagram and performing in person at the Old Goat. So if you want to grab some lunch and hear some tunes, I'll be there Fridays and Saturdays. All right, let's get right into today's episode with Vaughan Henry and the Smoogies.
Hey, thanks for your time, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Yeah, I know it's always a grind getting the tour going, and
So far it's been great, man. It's been good to step out and do all the things we've been talking about doing, and to get great reception from everybody. It's been really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I was surprised. The one lady, I think she's with her husband or boyfriend over in the one of the side stage booths.
They really enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, they knew every song, and I'm like, wow, they're super fans.
Yeah. So it was fun, man, to kind of just see all of that happening. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, but it's great to, like you were saying, coming off of a show last night and kind of in a new area for the band. I would assume you might have been to Detroit with other projects, but to visit with this band is probably a huge step forward.
Major. And then I was telling one of the guys that came he actually contacted me via Instagram. And just like, yeah, man, we'll make sure we're there for the show. And to actually see him come and support and be there and bring other people was like, man, it was amazing. It's very encouraging too, man, because when you go to a place you don't really know anybody, it's tough because you don't know how people are going to receive what you're doing. But, it held us up last night. It was really cool to get reception.
Yeah, that was my first time. I had heard about Cliff Bell's a bunch. I haven't yet played there, but I know, all the Detroit friends I know, they've played there at least once. So it was great to actually see that venue too, and see it kind of tucked away under all the taller buildings. And it's like, this is old Detroit still standing strong.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it seems very historic, like a real historic spot, or that a lot of people have played at. So yeah, we're honored to be there for 3 nights, which is cool.
Yeah, that's huge. Is it always, I've never tried booking Cliff Bell's, but is it always they want artists to do multiple nights, or is it just because you have some of the, I know you had a grant that funded this tour also? if I remember right, or was that something different?
Well, shout out to Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah's just been trying to push artists from all over the country, artists especially because Noah spent some time in New York, so he's been, just trying to help people come out and play, and that's kind of like a tradition. Like usually when cats play in a certain city, they kind of try to do like a few nights in a row. So that's been his thing. I've had quite a few friends come and do like a few nights in a row at Cliff Bell. So yeah, he just wanted to be able to let the world see us and, just try to get into it.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of pressure off too, just having like, after the first set, kind of getting your bearings, like once everything's kind of set, you can just vibe the whole week.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened last night. Yeah, we were, it was tough at first, but that's what it's all about, man. You got to make the adjustments and remember why you're there.
Yes.
So once that happens, everything, takes care of itself.
Yeah. And I can only imagine, like, because I mean, I follow you, Vaughan, at least separately right now. I still need to find all your other Instagram profiles for the rest of the band. But, just thinking of the last, like, with the pandemic and like just so many like industry shutting down and, everyone's plans just thrown up in the air. I can't imagine like going from that to being able to like travel again. Like, I'm sure that's a huge moment for the band.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, for me, it's my first time out in 2 years. I haven't done anything. So it's amazing that the moment that I did get out, like I got to do it with a band that like I'm a part of, that, we all basically started together, like, and that's amazing. Like that's an amazing opportunity that we don't take for granted at all.
Yeah. And so when you say started together, like you guys have been friends from the Florida scene for years and just decided to make a group, or was it?
Yeah, so Dion and Harvell really are the pioneers behind it. They had the idea, and they knew that Harvell knew that I needed to play with Dion, and he knew that him and Dave playing together was going to be like, he just had an idea and he just was like, yo, guys, let's come together and let's do this. And we literally just came together and just started making music. But before that, we were all friends. Like, we're all brothers. Like me and Dave, we have been, Dave's been my big brother. Harvell's been my big brother. Dion has been my big brother. So like, and they've all known each other. So it's just been like, it's
family
affair for sure.
That's awesome. That it kind of reminds me of I play in a group, Earth Radio, and the bass player, he and I had played together for years in different projects. And the first drummer we had in the band, we had also, played with him for years. And he had the idea of bringing a singer he had been working with. He booked some studio time. Our friend literally just, he hadn't fully set up his studio yet. So he just made a makeshift studio in like, a basement somewhere in Muskegon. And, I was technically meeting that singer on the recording session. Like, there was no pretense, there were no written songs or anything. And that whole first album was just, a week's worth of hanging out together, writing music, trying out ideas. And I think that, that's such a strong component of making good music, because, you hear it with your guys' album, People Music. It translates so well as like, this is music that you can dance to. There's like moments to reflect. There's like musicianship you could just, geek out over. It's very much like an offering up to, the audience.
The world. I mean, that's what we do this for. We are literally trying to make music that heals and uplifts the entire world, not just the musician community, but also not just the general population, like everybody. Like we want everybody, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the same thing for us. The music we're playing is for us.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like, you know, if we're not playing, if we're not giving off the energy that we want to feel ourselves, we can't expect other people to feel it. You know what I mean? So people music really is that, man. It's just everyday people. Like he said, music you can dance to, music that may be a little bit more difficult, all the musicians really understand, but it's really trying to cover our bases. And that the cool thing is it's not that we were trying to cover all those bases, it just happened that way.
Yeah.
You know, it just, you know, you look at the whole body of information. I'll speak for myself. When I finally looked at all of the music that we recorded, I didn't realize we recorded so much information. And it was just like, man, once it starts to kind of get shaped into a record, you're like, wow, we really do have things that could hit everybody, you know?
This all started with this record specifically. This record started in Dion's garage back in Delray. Like we were just meeting up. We were literally just meeting up, coming up with new music, and like we literally started playing songs. So like the first thing that I remember us coming up with was the record called Open Minded. I remember when we first sat down, I finally got patched in, and I just started playing. I didn't know what the drums were gonna be like. I didn't know what they were gonna play. I literally just heard this melody. I started playing it. They started coming in with this crazy groove, and I'm like, that's just what they heard. And we just literally recorded voice memos on the phone. Dion starts waxing down the bass line. And before we knew it, within like 30 minutes, we had a whole song, you know? And it was just like, after just doing that so much, it was like really an organic thing that happened, and then we just recorded it, you know?
Yeah, that's such and it's such a cool thing too, because I've been in situations where I'm in a studio or in a writing session and I'm already friends with a musician, but then there's like that kind of rift that's like, okay, they see the song in this direction, they see it in that, and you try to find common ground, but it always feels so great when you're already friends, and then you start musically interacting and you're like, okay, yeah, we're family now.
I want to say this too. I think, and this is something that I think this, at least for myself, that's why I love this band so much. There's really no egos. There's like no egos. Everybody's down for it. And like, for example, let's say it was something that Dion didn't agree on. Then that wins. Like, that's enough for us. So we just figure out something else. Because it's like, I don't know, making earnest music has a lot to do with like you being at a clear headspace on all levels. You know what I mean? So anything that could cause a bad vibe in our books is like, that's enough, because that's not even what we're trying to do. So it's not even the majority rules or half the band is on one end, the other half is like, okay, Dave doesn't like this. All right, so let's figure something else out. So when you have that kind of awareness about just making music at its purest form, it's gonna be kind of hard for stuff not to like propel, because everybody's just wanting it to work. So whatever it takes to work, that's what we try to do. You just want to win. Yeah. So I think that's something I'm grateful about. Like, no idea is ever a bad idea, and no one's ever also in their feelings if whatever they were thinking of or thought it should have been got shifted. So,
which is not common at all.
Nah, it's not. It's not. Literally, the vision of the music is all of us.
I think another cool thing off that is like everyone in this band, like we have so much trust with improvising. Like everyone's such a great improviser, and we had a show before we even had music. Like we had this little residency in Miami where we were doing Wednesday nights, like twice a month at a spot. And we were just showing up and like basically improvising on the bandstand. And it was kind of just communicating with the crowd. So the music from the first album came out of just like playing and just seeing what happens. And it's kind of the same thing in the next record. We just got together and just like, someone would just be improvising. We're like, you know, getting sounds, line checking. Someone just starts like fiddling on something. And that's like one of the records now. It's just like, everyone's just like such a cool improviser. We just can get up there and like, even if we got up tonight and just like improvise a song, it'd probably be on our next album. Like, it's just like, we have such a flow with it now. That's what we've been doing since day one with the band. It's like, kind of just, that's like how we write now.
Yeah.
We don't have to overthink it. Everyone just kind of like, we just get up there and like, all right, we find something. Everyone still settles into a part more or less. And then, yeah, like it can still shift to like, we have sections that are still open. So there's still a lot of improvising on the bandstand that happens in the group, which it's so fun to play with a band that's open to that stuff too.
Yeah, it's such a trust in this band. Like, it's a deep level of trust, and nothing ever really gets done the same twice. Like, it really doesn't. It's different every night. I don't know what's gonna happen, you know. And I love that. I love that because it keeps the music fresh for us, you know, so that we can be excited about it. So that, like, you know, Dave said, we can present that energy to the audience. So when we're on stage and we're smiling, we're having fun, like, and we're just like, we seem like, it feels like we're hanging out when we're on stage. It's just like, we really are hanging out. Like, this is what we do. This is not like, it's hard for us to have that, you know, Carnegie Hall face, like, just be all super formal.
Yep.
But that's not who the Smoogies are, you know. It's just not, you know.
Yeah, well, and I was curious too with how the live set went, because it's like you guys use like very minimal tracks, like just to like accent, you know, like the vocals or like maybe add a texture. And I was curious, like how, because you said you leave room for improvising, but I imagine too with like the tracks, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, how many are they allotting bars in the you know, in the Pro Tools session, or is it just like there's an on-off switch for the samples? Or
it's cool because it's kind of like we're playing a record now, and this is no exaggeration. Like last night or the night before last in Miami was our first time playing the show of the new music, the album music, and we never really played with tracks before. So we're all literally adjusting to all of that stuff. But the cool thing is I'm seeing like a whole different direction that we're going in now. Because even though we're on the grid, there's still room for us to still do what we do.
Yeah.
You know, we're just on the click. That's the only thing that we're doing now is just we're on the grid and we kind of know where things start and end, but it still allows us the room to like play and have fun. Like last night, especially the second set, I'm like, oh, now I see where things are like literally gonna take a turn, but we all still find our way back to each other. Yeah. You know, and I think it's gonna be great, man.
I knew, so the way we recorded this record, we didn't like a lot of things, we went back and dubbed. So we ended up recording this music so fast. I think we allotted like 4 days for recording, and we really only used like 2 of them, and we were actually done tracking, like just us 4 playing together, like our core instruments. So we had time to do like some overdubs, like Dion did some guitar overdub. They did some, you know, some drum programming stuff. And then I had time to do some organ and, you know, and just some extra stuff. So then when we left that session, we had did overdubs. Then we had the opportunity to sit down and write this stuff. So really and truly, it started with the foundation of us recording and just playing. So that's why it's easy to do that with the tracks, because those were not the spearheaders of what was going on. We were the spearheaders of it, and we still are live. So that's why it's easy to kind of have those tracks still be there, and we know what's going on, and we could just kind of let it fall in place, because it's just like, it's still being spearheaded by us, as you know. The track is just to give everybody an experience of what the album is like live.
Right.
You know, that's really all it is. But they're getting a live experience because it's changing every night, you know.
Right. Well, even that, like I remember there was just a point where there was like a sample introducing, and it was like almost theatrical, just like it's like, now you're listening to the Smoogies, and it's like just those little moments of like, if people were, it's like there's no moment that you want to miss because it everything just like you like get into the groove and then it changes and then the song changes and then there's an introduction to this thing. It's like very dynamic playing, and then seeing you all have a great time interacting on stage too. It's like it's a very to call something people music and see very plainly like this is music that they're having fun with, that energy is going out into the crowd. You go listen to the album, it's also a fun listen. Like it's all it all fits.
I think
I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. I think it's important too, man. Even now that we're at this place, for when we play in front of 50,000 people, I still wanted to feel like we just hanging out on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Even when we're on a huge stage,
That's the vibe.
I want it to be the same vibe that everybody steps into playing at Smoogies, and yeah, we take away a lot of the, weird expectations of like a show. We just like, it's a hang, man. That's all. That's the only way I can explain. And we all play with multiple people.
It's a hang.
It's a hang.
It's a hang, bro. We're all about the hang.
Yeah. So the moment it starts getting too serious, that's not who we are.
It's gonna get weird.
Yeah. So,
and it's not, because we're not gonna get
too serious. So
So it's okay.
We just gotta come hang. Like that couple in the corner, like that was amazing energy for us.
Yeah.
We played to them the whole night because it was just like they were enjoying it. All right, cool. Y'all stepping into what we already
That's
done.
our kind of people.
That's our kind of
So yeah.
Yeah. And it had been a minute since because I've seen, some shows in the last few months and, they've been fun, but I feel like it's been a minute that I've seen like, that lady was like totally like, I don't care who else is around me. Like, I'm so stoked to see.
They were dancing. Did you see them dancing in the back?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I was just like, yeah. That's what we want. We literally want, like, in spaces like that, get rid of the rules. Like, everybody get up and dance. It feels good. Have fun. She danced up the stairs to go to the restroom. She came back down and danced. Yeah, that stuff was that. I can't speak for anybody else, but it helped me because I was just like, especially when we were dealing with the sound and everything, it helped me get rid of like all of that stuff. I was like, yeah, man, let's just play. Let's just have fun. It'll work itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just putting the music out there for the people.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's really it.
Yeah. And when you mentioned, inviting people into Planet Smoogies, if I remember right, wasn't that the first album title that you guys had?
Planet Smoogies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smoogies,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was curious with that album because it's like you guys are in kind of I don't know, at least two bands, Butcher Brown being the first one, and then you guys getting, to work with Nicholas Payton. And I was curious about, was that experience like, because I know he tracked stuff, but was it like he was there through the whole process, or did he come and kind of just, do his thing, or how did that all work out?
Well, man, so it started with Dave, because Dave has a podcast, which y'all should go check out. The Shivertone Sessions. Y'all should definitely check that out.
I'll link it.
Yes, sir. But when we started getting this music together, back when Dion was talking about that place we used to play at, we had a residency. As things started progressing, Dave was like, man, we need to put something out there. We need to like really find a way to just start projecting the sound to the people. So long story short, we figured it out. We did a Shivertone session and we posted it on Instagram. And maybe like within like an hour, or maybe an hour, I don't even know. I don't even think it was like an hour. Nicholas Payton just inboxed the band. Well, not inboxed. He posted a comment on our page
Whoa.
It was like, this is ridiculous. This is bam. And I was like, so, of course, like we're all also jazz musicians. And, it's Nicholas Payton.
Nicholas Payton.
Like one of the best to ever do it. So shout out to Nick, you know what I'm saying? If he's wherever he's at, shout out to Nick. But after he did that, he posted, I don't know. I just inboxed him. I was like, man, we appreciate you just for even listening. Man, it was like, man, maybe in the future, hopefully one day we could like try to make some music together. And that's all we said. And then a second lady's like, I want to play with y'all.
Wow.
And we were like, and literally it kind of happened abrupt because we were actually working on the record, figuring out when we were gonna record, and we were kind of in the limbo of like, do we want to guest artist? Do we don't want to guest artist since it's our first project?
Right.
And it was like, this is Nicholas Payton. Hold up. So it's just kind of, it's like, yo, would you like to play with us on our debut record? He was like, of course, I'll be honored. And then that happened maybe like in October or September or something like that. I don't know.
It was around,
it
ended up
I'm talking about the
happening-
Shivertone.
the Shivertone?
The Shivertone.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was like October, November. Then we recorded the record in February.
Right.
Yeah.
We recorded the record in February, and he came down. He
The
lived.
timing was perfect. 'Cause
Yeah.
He was already coming to Miami for another show
It just so happened
Oh.
that
That
same
same-
weekend.
the same weekend he was coming to Miami.
So he literally just popped up in the studio
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we started playing. We didn't really talk about much. We didn't talk about anything. We just
Wow.
hit record
Yeah.
because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So we hit record and
He
he
was in it.
played.
He was in
And
it.
It was pretty eerie, man, because it was just like, for him to be who he is, he just walked in, was like, cool, order changes? All right, cool, roll. And he just played, and we were all like geeked out. Like, this is Nicholas Payton, And then he's not a guy of many words. So, and it's not that he walked in with an air, he didn't. He was
Right.
the coolest. But it was all about the music, which was so inspiring to see for all of us who know how great he is.
Mhm.
And for him to, in a sense, be so humble to work with us and say, man, I want to be a part of this. It was great, man. It was just I'll never forget it.
Nah, that changed my life.
I'll never forget when he walked in the studio, we were all like,
Oh shoot, that's really him.
Here.
It's
Like,
happening.
And he played, man, it was just like, every take he played, we were just like, okay, cool. That was amazing.
And not for nothing, I want to say this. Not for nothing. Like,
Right.
shout like to all the musicians out there that like have people that you dream or people that you like you want to make music with that you love. It's not impossible. You just got to stick to it. And when I say stick to it, like be true to the craft. You know what I mean? Like practice for real. Like try to get better at what you're doing and be as great as a human being that you can and be good to others. It's gonna find a way to work out.
It'll
It just finds a way to work out because when I think about like certain things and how it worked out, it's like, yo, this was like divine intervention. We were just trying to put out good music and he just appreciate what we were presenting.
And we
And
played
all quarterly.
Ground Up Fest that same
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And shout out to Ground Up Fest. Shout out to those guys.
which is crazy. So it was like a doozy of a weekend. We were just
Yeah.
like,
He
how's
just
all of this happening?
he literally just recorded with us and now you're playing this music live with us.
Yeah.
Like
He went from
in
the
the same-
studio, yeah.
I mean within a matter of 2
2
days,
days,
the same weekend. So it's just like
Wow.
it was a lot, but that definitely established an awesome relationship, and we appreciate Nick so much for that.
Yeah, he like when I first found out about him, it was the BAM, the whole Black American music thing, and how that was like as a kind of younger jazz artist, I hadn't ever heard it, codified like that because, you know, you're in school and someone throws a fake book at you and then they're like, hey, Glenn Miller's a band. And you're like, all right,
Right.
that was like 100 years ago now. But to like, you know, recognize the development, not just in jazz, but like in all different art forms, especially being, you know, for me, it's like I'm biracial, so I have, you know, my mom's side of the family. There's a whole, you know, history lineage that my grandmother, you know, she spent a lot of time trying to teach us and research on her, you know, like before me or 23andMe or any of these like, you know, quick search DNA things. She was tracing the history, the stories, and you know, to hear Nicholas Payton, someone who, like you said, he's a man of a few words, but everything he speaks is with such intention, and every, you know, every note he's playing is there's thought behind it. It's not just like, all right, I'm gonna play my, you know, my flashy lick and then you know, call it a solo.
Oh no, that's not.
He was pretty minimal in his approach too. Like he didn't come in and was like, I'm gonna play my thing. He really checked out the music and tried to see where he could fit in.
So much space in that record. Like,
that's why I was like encouraged by him as a pro. So it's like, man, he could have just walked in and be like, yeah, give me 3 takes. I'm gonna play what I'm gonna play. He really tried to see how he could fit in certain situations. And what encouraged me was even like the moments he laid out, just to kind of see what was happening and how he fit in the music. And that's why I go back and listen to that stuff now. I'm like, there was just no ego involved in how he approached that session. So for me, I was like, that encouraged me as an aspiring musician and then as a professional to not walk in every situation to do your thing. You know, you got to figure out how you can just make that every situation better. Yeah, that's what he did.
He definitely did that.
Yeah. What a way!
And it didn't take him long.
It didn't take him long at all. Yeah.
That man, like when I sit down, like
it was pretty crazy.
It was out.
Yeah.
That was some stuff.
It was a great experience, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Things like we have no music or anything written out for this band. Like we were trying to like, you know, make a couple changes on some paper. Even like in the session, we're like, all right, let's have something. He ended up like maybe glancing at it, and then he just like listened, and we kind of ran through it, and we did a take. And everything you hear on that first record is like first or second take.
Yeah,
that's all we cut of every track. And so
every track,
kind of, we almost went with all the first takes basically. But it just that was the vibe. Like we just listened to it and we tracked. No edits or punches. Like that's the first record.
Yeah, we were big kids because he played his first take. We like, oh, that was amazing. All right, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'll do another one. We like, it could be better.
Hold on, there's more.
Yeah, literally.
It was cool, man. Great experience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, and I also think, you know, or I guess observed when you guys were playing too, the fact that, you know, when you listen to the sound of the Smoogies, and especially thinking of like people music again as like the overarching, you know, the theme of what you guys are doing. There's also a range of, because you said you all play jazz, but you know, you hear some gospel, you hear some funk, you hear, you know, soul, you know, that what is it, groove. The first track off of People
Ministries.
Yeah, how it's like it has that like that the symphonic thing at the beginning with that pedal and the and just like you're like, wait a minute, it's like, you know, you're being presented this like really wide-ranging dynamic.
It's him. It's him. Little Baccarat. But I want to say this, Baccarat, that's good. That's really good, actually. But I want to say this, it's in the name, because I think people don't realize, because a lot of people always ask, what does that mean, Smoogies?
Yes.
What does that mean? What is Smoogies? So all of us are like real advocates of really good food. Like we just love really good food, like a lot. You know? Yeah. So it was one day I was having a smoothie and I sat there and as I was drinking the smoothie, we had just came from rehearsal. It was nothing yet. Like it was just, And I was talking to Dion, I was like, yo, for all those reasons that you just mentioned, it was like a smoothie, musically speaking. Because it's all types of music in our music. And there's a lot of different approaches in our music. And a lot of different, influences also in our music. So when you think of an actual smoothie, there's fruits, there's vegetables, there's cinnamon, there's all types of things in a smoothie, sometimes milk, whatever. But the end result, when you taste it, is like, man, this is really good. Like there's like a blend that happens, or something that happens when you have a good smoothie that's like, man, this is awesome. I could taste the banana, I could taste the strawberry, I could taste the kale, I feel it like in the back of my throat, I feel the little honey or the extra. So in a musical sense, when I was like, man, our music is a smoothie. But then I went even a little deeper. We have us musicians have a lot of funny lingos and a lot of slangs. And in in certain communities, there's this thing called OGs. Which means like, just not because you're about to die, nothing. You're just older and a little wiser, and you know a little bit more. So you gotta say that, because we're like, damn, they already feel like they're too old. They're just like, no, we don't feel like that. But we just been at it for quite some time. You know what I mean? Like, we all been playing music for a really long time. So I was like, hold on. Because like now we're not the old heads, but there's a lot of new, young, amazing musicians and artists that are coming up. So we're kind of OG-ish.
Right.
So it's like, smoothie, OGs. Smoogies. And it's great. It's great.
That's really it.
And that's really the story.
That's the same combo we had like back in my apartment.
At his apartment.
The name. And everyone was just like,
okay,
yeah, okay.
I'm right.
Let's go with
It's
it.
good. It's a musical smoothie, bro. Musical smoothie.
That's awesome.
Wasn't overthought at all.
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. But I don't know. I think that's what makes us love playing, not only for the people, but playing with each other. Because there's so many different cool like perspectives, musically speaking, and like so many different like idioms that just always are there. And it's cool also that when, for example, if Vaughan goes somewhere, it's like, it's liable to go a whole nother place, because David's gonna get on top of it, Dion's gonna get on top of it, I'm gonna get on top of it. Or if Dion does something, Vaughan is already, within his changes, already found a way to shift it to make it even greater than what it already was. So it's like things like that, or like Dave having a conversation with me like, man, let's try to sound like an octopus. Let's try to be an octopus, but really sound like one kid. You know what I mean? And catch that flow, catch that vibe, but all in the perspective. Because that's another thing. A lot of people always think like, man, there's two drums. And it's like it's drum, extravaganza. And I'm like, that's not really our vibe.
Yeah, I wanted us to take away that stigma immediately when people hear us. They're like, two drummers? Oh no.
Too loud.
That's just the aura that we get. Like when we sit down and play, everybody's like, oh man, it's gonna be super loud. Yeah. But if we can figure out how to make people forget in the first song, that we've done our job. You know what I mean? That people totally forget that it's two drummers. And that's what we do, man. We figure out parts or whatever, and then it's constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really fun. I'm having a blast.
For sure.
That's awesome. And that actually, because I pulled some people on Instagram and, just asked friends if they had any questions. And that was, all the drummers are like, how do you do two drums in a band? Like, because, you see like like Ghost Note or Snarky Puppy having like, the side percussion, or, like a Cuban band, like Perdito Martinez, like having four different percussionists, like that all people are used to. But yeah, the two drum kit, like I was noticing, there's times where you're playing off of each other, and then there's, times it seems like you trade lead roles, but then there's also
Mhm.
coming together moments. Like how did that all
I think too,
materialize?
Nah, Larry. No, I was gonna say I think it's a matter of
Anything you tell you doesn't count. It was him.
No, I think it's a matter of just knowing it. Like I think every night is different too, because
Yeah, it is.
Harvell has nights where he's super chill and he's just playing or whatever, and then I could be expressive. And then there are nights where I'm super chill and he's expressive. And I feel like we gauge those nights every time we play. And it may be a song that he loves to play, and I'm just like, cool. I'm good with like making sure everybody's comfortable and we get back to where we need to be. And it just changes. That's why I say it's cool, because you never get bored and you never zone out. Because if I feel like he's going for it, I'm like, cool, let me lay it down. Let me make sure everybody's cool.
And when he starts going haywire, I either try to play super soft and remember that we're playing and not get stuck. He's like, oh, he's really good. Or, like you said, just try to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? It's the flow, though. I think, because I that's the biggest thing I want people to know about our music. We're all about the flow and the continuum of things within the music. You see what I'm saying? So everything is built off of that. Like the way we write the music, the way we, before we even present a song to someone, to the band, like it's already in the process of like, how can this be as fluid and could have so many different possibilities one way or another. So, and like I said earlier, this band has no ego. We don't care about that stuff. We really prefer to clown and joke around and see people dance.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God, truth.
That's more fun than look at what I can do.
Like, literally. Literally. Because, like, a lot of times, like, it's just, as a musician, you know how it is. It's always ulterior motives. This band we don't get down like that. And there's no vibing. If someone messes up a part, David might like beat us up later. I'm glad y'all. Yeah. But all jokes aside, it's like, okay.
They're gonna get me too, so it's fine.
It's like we
never mess up.
Oh yeah, he doesn't. So yeah, we never got him. I heard him at 3 in the morning. It's hard, but yeah, man. So that's the thing, man. It's just we want to make music. We love making music, and we want to do it the best way possible to get the message across. Because it's not about us; it's about the music.
Yeah, that sounds cliche too, but it's true.
This is true. It's about the music, man. So
even for us, like the two drums is cool for Vaughan and I too, because they both are so different and so killing in their own way. But on different nights, like when they switch off or take different roles, it changes the feel completely of the song.
Yeah.
And so we might play different parts depending on what they are doing differently. Like, and it kind of just makes it one of the like fresh things. Like every time we play, like the stuff that they do kind of like makes us change feels, change like certain rhythms and stuff. So it's really cool hearing their interaction. Like,
and we get fuel off of that too. I gotta say that from the other perspective, because Vaughan is also a really badass bass player, but he doesn't like to tell people about it. So a lot of it, and I could play a little bit of bass, like I could get through like a song, but like understanding like the role of a bass player and understanding how to get to certain things melodically, they've made me realize why we love the people that we love. The Herbie Hancocks of the world, the Ron Carters of the world, or, the Victor Wootens or whatever. Reason being, Vaughan, his awareness about bass, he knows how to fix whatever cluster or whatever changes it is. Whether we know it or not, we just hear something brand new. But he has a way of, like, whether it's the leading tones, whether it's dropping, dropping the 11th and adding something else, or putting this 9 here because Dion plays something that asks for a 9, or whatever the case may be. Like, Vaughan really gets that, and that really helps the band, because what that does, it pushes him to go haywire, and he's already amazing. So when that happened, it's just like a domino effect, and everybody just start getting into like it's like a soup or like a jumbo or a gumbo. I mean, like it just starts going, it starts blossoming. And like, oh shoot!
I was thinking of the same thing.
Yeah, and literally, so it's like I'm grateful for that because like not a lot. And like Dave said, usually people just kind of stick to what they want to do and they do it. But like when you have that kind of sensibility or sensitivity to like just to hear that on his behalf, it's like, oh shoot, okay, we can even go deeper into this or take another route. So it's not just us on the groove. Like melodically, like there is like as much as people see our synchronization between the drums. A lot of it has to do with them, like a lot of it, for real, because it's just the way they propel the band. They just they do really good at that. So
yeah, it's an endless cycle of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just constantly turning.
It's true.
Yes, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's funny because I also do a lot of food analogies with like music because it's food's an art, and that takes a team to make a good dish sometimes, and it was funny, some of the questions I got were like, I mean, I could just do them rapid fire because it was like I had someone ask about what your favorite hot sauce was. I had someone ask about what are your go-to gas station snacks on the road, and then go-to meals when you get to a new city.
I like Chex Mix a lot. That's pretty chill, but I love Chex Mix wherever I go. I just found like jalapeno Chex Mix,
and it's pretty bad.
I'm like excited to check those out.
I love jalapeno chips, but Harvell just put me onto the 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven jalapeno chips.
They're pretty killer.
Not Lay's, but 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven
brand. Something else. You need to try it.
Yeah, very nice.
Dion,
Yeah,
you gotta have some coffee.
yeah, coffee mainly. Peanut M&Ms.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
Yeah,
Yellow bag, you need it.
So
Yeah.
me, I have to have some gordito chips with the mix, the gorditos. It's like a red and brown and beige bag. It's incredible. It's pretzels in there. It's like these crouton chips. They're incredible. That's all right. My favorite gas station would have to be Racetrack because they got all the best snacks on the road.
Yeah.
And coffee lovers say is decent coffee in there. So I'm not big on coffee. Then what else? Oh, I'm a candy connoisseur. I love gummy bears a lot.
Yeah, gummy bears.
I love Lifesavers a lot. My new trend has been the gummy Skittles right now, which is like, wow. Y'all gotta try the gummy Skittles. It's incredible.
You're learning some stuff on the road.
So, go-to meal, it just depends on the city. In some cities, like last night, I gotta admit, we were a little upset because the pizza took a little too long, but it was good.
Yeah.
What's the name of the place?
Milano's?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It took a long time.
It took a long time.
When we got it, man.
It was killer.
It was good though.
It's really good.
But like I don't know, like wherever we are, whatever's the dish of the city, you know what I mean? We just like if it's good. Well, speaking of that, where's somewhere we can get some good food tonight?
Well, I was gonna say I went to a new spot. I had known about it. It was pretty close to Cliff Bell's. This place called was it Johnny Noodle King? And it literally is just like really tasty, like ramen, curry, like all sorts of like just bowls of noodles and meats and spice and
I love some good ramen.
Say the name again.
Johnny Noodle King.
Johnny Noodle
King.
Yeah.
You might check that out.
I was going to Johnny Noodle King at some point.
Yeah, it was.
We're gonna have to check that out.
It was quick too. I mean, we got like some gyoza, and then we each got a ramen bowl, and we were in and out of there. We got there at like 5:30. We still made the like 6:15 reservation thing. Like we were in and out.
Wow,
crazy. Yeah.
That's
It's
amazing.
so good.
We went to this place called the Brass Rail yesterday.
It's solid.
It was good.
Oh, nice.
Solid, like
Solid.
comfort food, bar food. It was
good.
actually,
It was
It was good.
burger.
it was, yeah.
They had a bad chicken sandwich too. The club was pretty. It's like avocado,
Yeah.
chicken.
Ooh.
They got a little special sauce. It was happening.
Yeah, hand cut fries. It was crazy.
Yeah, fries were great. Those who love chicken tenders and stuff like that, they were crispy, amazing. Like,
See?
it was good.
You see how we talk about food, man? The same,
It's the same, bro.
same energy, man.
Yeah, it's the
It
same.
makes the music sound better when we're not hungry.
It's the truth.
It makes the music sound better.
When like I think of the first drummer for Earth Radio was this guy Mario Copeland, and he, you know, he always had the, not a rule, but like whenever you get your food, it doesn't matter what song's playing on the radio, that's your favorite song. Like those first bites, you're like, I don't know what this is, but
It's a vibe.
It feels good right now.
It's a vibe. That's right. That's right.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go. I still have some leftovers. You know, the bowl was so big, I took some home.
Woo!
Oh yeah, we definitely going to Johnny Noodle King.
Yeah.
I like that, bro. And leftovers?
Yeah,
Oh man.
For us, there may not be leftovers.
Maybe not for us. We're savages a little bit. a little bit.
Yeah.
But all right, Johnny Noodles King for sure.
yeah,
sure.
definitely. And I think the only other question, I guess, question someone asked, just because, you know, thinking of summer's coming, people are going to be road tripping, and they were wondering if, you know, most of the traveling was flying or if it was driving, and if it is driving in some of this, you know, the stuff, who controls the van playlist, or is it kind of passed around as you're like,
This one this one is mainly flights, but yeah, I think when we're in the car, I'm not saying the music won't be on. We're real life jokesters.
Yeah,
So we're like literally entertained before music even goes on.
yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah. We haven't
David
even-
thinks he's I can't say he thinks. He is a singer. Damn, I can't believe I said that.
I'm amazing.
I just said that to the world that you're a singer.
I see. Like, yeah, it's in your heart too. I'm amazing. Don't worry about it. You'll hear something.
On another note, Simmer,
They are in a serious battle. Like, it's so crazy. They're so connected on stage. But
I'm in retirement.
off the stage, they are continually singing and battling each other and dissing each other about who's great and who's not.
Yeah,
It's the greatest
but I'm-
ongoing battle.
But I'm really great He's not.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm
in
winning.
retirement. I'm in retirement.
because I put him there.
Now, you see,
He
Let's
did
not mess up
retirement
the
because I took
chemistry.
his job.
I messed up the chemistry of the
shifting
band.
them, you making it smooth.
But yeah, man, it's all jokes. You just hang and laugh, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, playlist where we probably be talking the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that I know what you mean. I've been on the road and, you know, there've been like, you know, it usually is with previous bands that I've traveled with, it's like whoever's driving controls the playlist because they are the one having to drive. But with us, even though we haven't done it yet, I know that half the time we probably won't even really be listening to the music. We'll be talking, like we're real friends. You know what I'm saying? Like we real life friends. So we'll either be talking, you know, and we know that we all got good taste in music. So I don't think anybody cares.
It's almost like a thing where, like, I feel like more so when we talk about music outside of playing, it's like, yo, this is what I've been checking out, or go check this out. And then everybody kind of just go do their thing and check some music out. But like when we're with each other, it's completely agape fellowship, like all the way. I remember us going to Dion's house for rehearsal. Me and Dave, Dave would carpool me, and we would just talk about life, like just dealing with life stuff, like, you know, family stuff, significant other stuff, all types of stuff in life. But like, not until we start playing, then we start playing, and then we're like, it shifts to music. But like, and I think that's another important thing about playing music. Is with musicians, like, I'm not saying music is everything. It's awesome. We love it. We've given our lives to it, obviously. But there's a lot more to life than just music. You know what I mean? Because in all the other things that are going on in life, that's truly how you get affected to either play music well or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we're constantly just trying to be better people with one another, with our surroundings, and like just always trying to, like, these guys are super wise, like beyond their years. So it's like they're always, like, David's always giving good advice of some sort, whether you understand it or not. Or Dion not saying something is like, saying, man, maybe I shouldn't say anything when something like that happens. You know what I mean? Or Vaughan just like, man, yeah, it was cool, but I got to say this to you before we could clear this up, and understanding, like, the dynamic, like, the approach makes the tune in that situation. So it's like, it's always ongoing of, like, life. Like, we're doing life. Like, this is a life thing. Like, our significant others we all love each other. Like, I love Dave's wife. She loves me. She loves Vaughan. She loves Dion. His wife loves me. She loves Dave. She loves Dion. You know, like, their kids are our nephews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nieces to be or to come. So it's bigger than just like, all right, man, let's play some music. Let's go listen to the latest, whatever it is.
Right.
You know, it's just, yeah, it's a fellowship. And we don't take it for granted because we don't get to see each other often like we would want or used to. So it's even the more like,
time is very limited.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
We all go back to our lives.
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah. It's so important. And I feel like a lot of the choices I've made for how my schedule looks this summer have been around not just the projects I'm playing in, but like, who are the people that I want to spend time in a car with, you know, time on the festival ground with, like, you know, people that I can have regular conversation. Yeah. Like, feel like you're part of more than just like, okay, I'm a hired gun and I'm going out to, you know, do a solo or something on this song or whatever.
Right. No, for sure.
Yeah, more and more, like, the older you get, the more you just want to play in certain situations. And, like, it makes it easier to say no to other things, even just for a little reason like that. You're like, oh, it's just like, this may not be something I want to do or something, you know? And you just want to play in fun situations. If it's not fun, it's almost like hard to do it. Like, when I was younger, I just say yes to everything and anything. And now I'm like, I just want to have a good time. Like, if it's not a good time, I almost gotta, like, rethink it a little bit. Just like, all right, like, do I need to do this, or like, do I want to do this? So it definitely helps. Like, a band like this, I'm like always down. Like, anytime there's something, I'm like, let's do it, you know? Like, when you have a good project.
Yeah, which is tough because it's hard to get all of us together. Everybody doing so many different things, so we can.
You learn about that.
Yeah, this is a good moment.
Yeah, it's for real. Like,
it's a good moment. It's
cool. Like, and I'm grateful because, like, we all still get a chance to work and play with a lot of cool other different projects. But man, like, just the mere fact of getting to link up with them, it's like, oh man, we did it, guys. We linking, like, like,
yeah, it was cool because we were all in the airport yesterday. Like, guess
we're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
Doing it.
Literally, man, because it's always something going on in schedules playing. Dave teaches at the University of Miami, so that's a lot. Vaughn's like a music director at a super awesome church in Nashville. Dion teaches also and plays a lot. I teach and tour with an old MSU professor here, Etienne Charles. So I play with
okay.
I play with. So everyone's really doing a lot of other stuff. So it's like we really put the time out and be like, yo, let's get this cracking. Let's get it pumping. So just the mere fact of that alone, I'm grateful. Because we're doing it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's I mean, you know, it's palpable in this interview, it's palpable on stage, like the way you guys interact and, like, you know, the music bond, the life bond you guys share. It's super cool and really inspiring, and it totally makes sense why you'd put out an album called People Music and, you know, go out and see the people.
We need to see the people, bro. We got to see the people. We do it for them.
Yeah.
It's not for us. We're already happy with being able just to get a chance to play with each other.
Yeah.
We just want people to experience how much fun we get to have also. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. Like this is
No,
such
for
a
sure.
fun chat, and hopefully it can, give a little bump in the circles I occupy to have people go see you at Cliff Bells, or I'm gonna try and turn this around in like a day.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
coming last night and doing this.
Coming to hang. Shout out to Ryan, your
Yep.
boy that was drummer Ryan. Shout out to Zach. We saw last night from Fort Lauderdale too. Yeah, so for sure, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And y'all, we're playing here till tomorrow night, 7:30 sets and 9:30 sets.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun. I think we having fun so far. So if whoever could come out and show some love,
Every night's gonna be better and better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may sing, but
He's not gonna sing. Yo, hold on.
I already set it up with the song, guys. Fine. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get off the drums.
I quit the
I'm
band.
not playing good behind him. I put too much work in life to play. Yeah. I see you.
We're still working kicked out with that. Everybody's trying to accept my singing role in this band. It's fine. We'll work it out.
It's not. That's why we let Vaughan sing. It's not him.
For now.
Oh,
Fine.
for now. The third album is just all you singing. There's no band. It's just you singing.
Oh, it's already recorded. They don't know it yet. And there are no clicks. So everybody just falls into what I'm singing.
I am the click.
I am the time. Nah, man, I'm just joking, man. Yeah, man, thank you so much for your energy and taking time to just speak with us. This means a lot to us. The interaction with everybody, just with the support, man, it's been like last night was so amazing. Because like I said, it started off as a rough night for us. We were like, man, how are we gonna get through it? And then just when we start seeing smiles, and like I said, that couple that we didn't even know, just like egging us on. Like for me, it just held me up. I was like, yeah, let's just play. I don't care if we're playing with these two people in here, But it was great. The energy was awesome last night.
Yeah, so much fun. Is there anything, like where should people find the new album? Is there a website? All those good things.
Just on the band's Instagram, and we got a YouTube page too, but the link in our bio right now has like our tour and all our tour dates and pre-sale. And then at the top you have the icons, for all the Instagram social media stuff, the YouTube page, and the streaming links for the new record. So everything's there, like if you go to the Instagram, but yeah, it's all on all streaming services, Bandcamp, everywhere. So if you just search the Smoogies, People Music, it'll pop up.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll be linking stuff too, and YouTube's down here and wherever Spotify is. I don't know, but
Okay, cool.
I'll put links and all those things. And but yeah, thanks again. This is super fun.
Thank you, man.
And safe travels on the tour and all that.
Thank you, bro.
Hopefully we get to see you soon, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'll
sure.
keep an eye out.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, take care. And I'll make sure to, text the people who didn't show up yesterday to go see you guys tonight.
Yeah, come hang.
Thank you, man.
Cool, thank you.
Come hang with us, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Man.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too, bro.
See ya.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And thanks for your patience, listeners out there who have enjoyed the episodes of Life as a Piano. I know the schedule has changed with, trying to keep my schedule as manageable as possible as a one-man team. So I appreciate your patience. And I hope to conduct more of these kind of interviews in the future. I love being able to see bands and then chat with them and understand kind of what they do. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate you sharing and listening. Shout out to the patrons as always. Y'all are the bedrock of the podcast. as well as all of you lovely listeners out there who might have just tuned in this week. We'll catch you next time on an episode of Life is a Piano. Thanks so much.